Miguel?
Two questions. One is, where could I find more information about your model of society? I think probably just to visit your website. Second question, why Sweden and the Scandinavian countries are more open to this new model compared to other countries?
Did you hear the questions, Andrew?
No, I didn't quite hear that.
Okay. One is, resources on understanding this model, assuming the website, but perhaps there's some other resources you could point to. And the second question was, you're in Sweden and in Scandinavian countries, we understand that they might be more open to this kind of concept than here. Or why?
Why more receptive to this idea compared to other countries?
Oh, why is Sweden more receptive?
I don't know why Sweden's more receptive. I think that they are generally a bit more open to ideas, but I can't really say specifically why. We do have members actually from all parts of Europe. We got people in the British Isles. We got people down in Slovenia. But as I said, we got companies in Slovenia there. So and we do have members in Austria. We have members in Australia as well. Actually, we've got members in America. So it's not just Sweden, but I think we do seem to have a core in Sweden. Why specifically, I don't know. As our website is one place we can go for more information, and you could also have a look at Wikipedia, I suppose. If I just give the Wikipedia link.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
There you go. There's the Wikipedia one. Apparently, it's an orphan article. Oh. Anyway, there you go.
It's there with the prototechnique. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think people can.
That gives some outline of it, but this is also an idea that's in development. As I said, it's experimental. We've got to test these out. We're testing things out with ourselves, with simulations, and then into communities as well. So these are ideas in flux, as it were.
Yeah, just a question. Oh, yeah, Mariella.
I'm just wondering if you could give some more specifics about the size of the communities, the type of energy, if they want to be energy self-sufficient, what kind of energy sources are they using, if they're growing their own food, etc., the kind of land space. In an urban, are they using them in urban context as well as in places where you might need some kind of, land area to grow your own food, etc. So some more specific details.
Yeah, Andrew, just a question about a bit more specific details as, what kind of size of community, can they be an urban community? Are there examples of urban communities? What kind of energy and what kind of production? So, yeah, within this...
those are nice questions I would like to have answers to myself as well, but the things we've got at the moment is we want to try and minimise the actual land usage. So we want to try and see if we can build upwards rather than outwards. We want to try and grow as much things like hydroponically, permaculture, and also we've been looking at the idea of algae as well. So it's sort of to try and to minimise, as it were, the way we spread out. So we minimise our impact and our footprint on the environment that way. As for people, experimentally, we want to start with communities that are about 10-15 people to start with, expanding upwards maybe to 30 to 50. Ideally, when we get this, if we get something actually really working, then each community should have a maximum of about 200 people in it. There's some evidence that human beings can only keep up track with to about 150 people. After that, they start losing track of them as human beings. There's also some evidence that when communities get up to about 200 people, they start breaking up as well. So as localization is very important here, we want communities that are about 200 people, but then we actually want to link them together, so we form what we call an urbanator, about 10,000 people. So that's the first layer of a network, as it were, and that's the building blocks for building up a sustainable society, as it were. Did that answer the question? So there's a lot of things still to be decided there, I think.
John had put his hand up just before you, Deborah.
My question is, Andrew, what do you mean by energy accounting, and do you have a concept or model or standard in place?
Yep. Yeah, we do have a model for that. There are some articles on our site about that. Did that answer the question?
Yeah. I just want to make a comment. Over the last few years, I run scenario planning weekends for the year 2030 with the public, the greater public, and interestingly, every time something like, a global connected system with separate pods living very highly sustainable pod existences always comes up within the scenario groups. So it's quite interesting to see that the general public is also kind of conscious of this sort of model. When they're
that's
given the
interesting.
chance
So I see,
to play with it.
Yeah, I have seen other people come up with sort of similar ideas as well, which I suppose is encouraging, really. To my mind, it's a bit like Lego. If you take a sustainable community, small sustainable community, and have many of them and plug them together, then you should build a sustainable society from the ground up.
Yeah, it's a lovely concept. And Ian, yeah.
Don't you get people asking, doesn't this sound very similar to socialism?
Yep.
Did you hear that?
Yes, we do. Yes, and quite honestly, yes, it does have a lot of overlaps with socialism, but it also has a lot of overlaps with some forms of Christianity and Buddhism as well, and probably overlaps with many other things as well. I think one of the significant differences with different forms of socialism, communism, especially Marxism, which Marxism is also a moneyless society as well, is the status. And in a socialist society, everybody's considered to be equal. It's almost like they assume everybody's a clone of everybody else. We recognise that there are actually differences between people. People have different interests and different skills and different expertise, and we aim to work around the people. So that if people put a lot of effort into their studies, education, then they get a more interesting position that's more fitting for their particular skills and expertise that they'll be interested in doing. So we do make distinctions on individual people and what they like and what they won't want, and try and fit the work to them rather than just saying they're all the same and they can all go do whatever jobs now. But yes, there is a lot of overlaps with socialism.
Great, thank you. We might call it a day there, Andrew. Thank you so much for coming along and doing this.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, very provocative, and I'm sure we'll create a lot of discussion right now. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.